Hello everybody, my name is Connor Osmond and welcome to your one-stop for all your gaming, comic book, and anime news. Today, it's going to be a wonderful week because we're back. Sorry about not being back last week. Got a little swamped, I'm sorry. But, if you guys want all the things and you guys don't want to watch the entire show, links below to comics, games, and anime. I'll wait here patiently and then we'll move on to games. Alright, now to the games! Well, E3 was this week, so we just have all the crap to pile through. Like Pokemon. We got some news about that recently, and outside of it being called X and Y, we now know that there's a new type of Pokemon. Fairy type Pokemon. I know what you're thinking. What's a fairy type Pokemon? What are they gonna do with this? But we know for a fact now that fairy type Pokemon are supposed to counteract dragon type Pokemon, which is kind of good because dragons were starting to get OP. But also, you can also customize your Pokemon and ride on certain Pokemon in certain areas. So all around, from joint consensus about this game is it's going to be great, and it's going to be a giant step forward for Pokemon. It's going to be a great way for new and old Pokemon fans to join on. But Xbox also released Killer Instinct. Now, Killer Instinct isn't something that I've held dear to me, but however, a lot of people have. And at the current moment, Killer Instinct isn't going to necessarily be oh, we're just gonna buy the entire game. By the looks of it now, you're going to be able to purchase certain characters, which means if you don't want to pay for the entire game and just have certain characters that you like, you can pay for them up front. You don't have to worry about anything else. I think this is probably pretty good, especially with like the League of Legends doing this, where you just, oh, I want this champion. And you kind of just buy it and you're like, sweet, and you're good. But however, it could show a couple people off, but however, you can still buy the game with all the characters unlocked, which is always nice. However, guess what was also released? It's Super Smash Brothers! I know that I've wasted a lot of time playing Super Smash Brothers, waking up real early to play that on the Nintendo 64, waking up real early to play it on the GameCube, and wasting a whole lot of hours on that final boss in Brawl. But hey, they made another one, so we can waste even more time, which I think is going to be a great thing. But some of the people that have been announced so far at E3 are Mega Man! And I know a lot of people are going to be interested in that. The Villager from Animal Crossing, but last but certainly not least, the Yoga Girl from Wii Fit. And I know she makes hardly any sense here, but oh well, Nintendo decided to add her, and I'm completely fine with it. But what I'm really surprised to know is who else is going to be in there. Because we had Wario last time, and we had a couple other ones that nobody really expected. So I'm really curious to see what they bring to the table outside of those three new people. Hopefully they bring Mewtwo back. Fingers crossed. Well, if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you're in luck. Because recently PlayStation Plus added a couple of free games to their collection. These games include, but are not limited to, Uncharted 3, so the single player only, sorry. XCOM Enemy Unknown, and last but certainly not least, Little Big Planet Karting. Now these games are all pretty snazzy, especially for XCOM, which I've already been at least a couple hours. And oh gosh, that game gets me in the hard places. But not only that, the rumor has it that Chancellor the Third will be headed to PlayStation Plus soon. So if you haven't picked it up and you're just like, I want some free games, pick that up for sure. But in other news, guess who is being really, really stupid? Or in my opinion, PopCap. Yep, people that brought you Bejeweled and Plants vs. Zombies. At the current moment, you gotta be worried about Bejeweled for now, at least. Because PopCat's officially announced Plants vs. Zombies 2. And you want to know what? I was really excited for that. Plants vs. Zombies 2, I was like, yeah! More plants, more zombies, more action. But by the looks of it, it's not going to be the same. Because there are two games currently going on right now. An iOS title, which is basically going to be kind of like the Plants vs. Zombies you know, but it's for iOS. So bugs. Not much really we can do about that. But also, there's going to be a first-person shooter, and it's going to have plants. It's going to have zombies. It's not going to be fun in my opinion. I mean, it'll probably be a laugh. It makes me sad, knowing that there won't be a legitimate sequel, Plants vs. Zombies, on my PC. Or at least not for a while. But what's even more depressing than that is EA and how they're trying to get into our good hearts by getting rid of their online tasks. But it's not working. Especially when they say, we're going to continue doing microtransactions. EA has officially said that at the current moment they're hoping to get $20 to $30 in microtransactions per game. And now honestly, I don't think this is going to work, but EA, just don't overestimate things like Square Enix and say, we're going to sell 2 billion copies. It's not going to happen. Earlier this year, Nordic Game purchased a lot of THQ's assets, such as, but not limited to, Darksiders, ATV, the Red Fraction series, and I do believe a couple others. But at the current moment, nobody's really heard what Nordic Games is really going to do with these titles. So in a recent interview with Nordic Games, we've truly have a better idea on what they're going to do with these titles. And what they're going to do is they're going to try to make sequels to a lot of these titles. They're going to find out which titles really need a fresh start and which ones kind of just need to be left to chill for a while. But lucky for us, Darksiders 3 is actually on its way. But we probably aren't going to see it in the next 3 years. So, yeah. But they're going to try really hard to hopefully not make anything crappy, which is always nice. They're going to try to stay true, blue, and everything new. But sadly, Nordic Games does not really have the manpower to make a whole bunch of titles. They are only like a 12-person development house. So, what they're probably going to do is they're going to license out the titles to other developers. They can work on it, and they share the monies that they make in return. Honestly, I really do wish Nordic the best. I don't want to see the ATV series go down. I remember playing that for quite some time, along with Darksiders, which I haven't really played. But best of luck, Nordic. Peace off. But that's not all that happened this week. Transistor, which is Supergiant's second game, right after their smash hit Bastion, and Bez 2 have all been announced. But that about wraps up for games. My name's Connor Osborne. Peace out. Well, for those of you that don't know, September for comics is Villains Month. And that's gonna be awesome. Just saying. But Villains Month will encompass 52 issues, or pretty much 1 month, along with Forever Evil, which will cover 6 to 7 issues. But, for those of you that don't know what Villains Month is, assumedly, Villains Month will take place while all the heroes have just disappeared. So it'll be really interesting, especially with a lot of these super-ish villain team-ups that are being planned. But all around, Villains Month is going to be really annoying, especially for people that don't know what's going on. Well, we all know Superman, especially with the new movie coming out, but have you guys ever wondered where Superman first really appeared? Well, for those that don't know, it's Action Comics #1. And the reason I'm talking about this is because an issue of Action Comics #1 was recently found in somebody's wall. That's right, somebody's wall. Somebody's wall. Somebody just like, oh, what's this? And pulled down an Action Comics #1. And for the new guys that don't know exactly how much it's worth, well, this Action Comics #1, which I can't imagine was in excellent shape, this Action Comic sold for $175,000. That's a whole lot of money. That's all I can say. Well, we've all spent a lot of time, money, and efforts on the Super Smash Bros. Franchise. It was really great seeing all those characters like Yoshi, Pikachu, Mario, and Kirby all in one consecutive game. But recently, a new comic by TQ Studios has recently captured that essence by jamming a whole bunch of characters from video games and whatnot and making one comic out of them. Now this is not an official thing. So basically what's happening is they're editing the characters slightly, but in my opinion, still looks pretty cool. If you want something that resembles a Super Smash Bros. Comic, definitely check that out, and you'll probably get a little bit more variety. I'm definitely curious on how this does in the future. You want to know who really loves money? IDW. You don't know, IDW is a comic book making place. It's kind of like Marvel and it's kind of like DC, just smaller. But they sure do love their money. And you can tell this by the fact that they currently have, a Transformers comic. Not bad, right? They got Transformers, but they also have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, My Little Pony, and recently added to their collection of comics to be started soon, a Powerpuff Girl comic. Yep. So IDW just really wants a lot of money because I'm pretty sure they just have stacks on stacks of dollar bills just from the Transformers comic. Just saying. But you want to know what's really disturbing? Jamie Foxx as Electro. Now I know the guy's been trying to make a comeback, especially right now, but I don't see him as Electro, but I'm definitely going to be interested as his performance, especially since I don't know a lot of Electro's background, so it'll be definitely interesting to see what happens in that sense. But for those who don't know, there's already another Superman movie planned to be out in like a couple of years. Doesn't matter how bad Superman does. Hopefully it doesn't do bad. I'll probably know by later today. So yeah, peace off guys. Well, if you have a Hulu account and you just love watching anime, well then lucky for you, there's a new anime called True Tears. Not exactly sure what the anime is about and I haven't had time to check it out, but if you're just sitting at home, chilling, be free to check this anime out. It's probably worth a shot, because Hulu doesn't have a lot of animes. But if you enjoyed the Secret of Mana series of games, and you just enjoyed that art style, and you were like, ah, this is what brought me to anime and games, well then, it's a sad day for you, because the original artwork person for the Secret of Mana has died. Hiro Isano has recently passed away, and it's a sad day for all, because The Secret of Mana was actually a beloved game by many, and it's always sad to see one of the great artworks in game history pass away. But he will be remembered in spirit, and in hopefully other Secret of Mana games to come. Well, Toonami appears that Cartoon Network's official Toonami series, which rebooted sometime last year, can't stop being awesome. I honestly grew up with Toonami, and it was my first real exposure to things like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, and I honestly loved it. Seeing it come back last year was truly remarkable, even though I didn't actually get to watch it. But However, Toonami, none of its shows recently in the past week went below 800,000 views, which is always nice, showing that Toonami still got what it takes, and hopefully can stay on air and live forever. In a sea of money, just like Case Closed, which came out in 1994. Ah, Case Closed. One of those older shows that was shown on Funimation. Those were the days. But however, Case Closed is officially launching their 13th or 14th movie recently, and it just happens that this movie has sold over 34 billion yen. That's a whole lot of money, especially for Case Closed. Especially since it's not only that, but it's 17th movie. Honestly, that's ridiculous. For so many movies, Case Closed, why do you print money? Well, the Silver Spoon manga officially sold over $10 million in print. Now, when an anime typically does this, they're doing something right. When they're doing something right, you just gotta check it out. So don't worry, I will be checking out this manga eventually. But honestly, claps. Claps for a manga getting over $10 million in print. Because that is definitely a milestone that people want to keep pushing. Well, if you're a fan of the Blaze Blue series, be very happy because Blaze Blue Phantom Zazazazaza, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, but oh well, is actually coming to the US and having Western releases. So if you're a fan, be happy because not only that, but this game will have over 26 characters for you to play. And it will be coming to PlayStation 3 because PlayStation is PlayStation. That about wraps up the anime this week. It's a fairly short week in anime, but for those of you that don't know, there's a new Gundam coming out. So for those of you that are interested in Gundams and like collecting and building your own. Also, Kingdom Hearts 3 has officially been revealed. Yep, it's been a long time coming. But also there are new Attack on Titan toys. And yeah, don't look into those because they can be very freaky. That about wraps up for anime. My name is John Alfred. Peace out.